Hey, what it do with the business is?
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV show. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown if you're looking for me on social media.
Absolutely. And I am Spike Lou on those same social sites. Holla at your boy. Hey, man, it's still quiet out here. Don't expect no topics. The long legacy of topics, man. Y'all go check the archives for that. We're giving y'all weekend reviews from here on out into the landscape change.
Listen, man. We're going to talk about some albums that's about to drop pretty soon, and they can't get here fast enough. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, my God. Like, the music business being on hiatus from November to now March is the biggest shift in history. Jesus.
It's springtime. Was today the first official day of spring, I think? Or is this week?
Tomorrow.
Okay, well, by the time you hear this, it'll have happened. So now it's about to warm up, hopefully, and people going to be outside. And so it's got to be some new music on the way for sure.
Got to be some new music. But until that, we're going to hold you down as we do at the On Deck TV show, giving you the latest and greatest in hip-hop news from a Southern perspective. Me and my man, AB. This week in review, Ja Morant says others believe hip-hop cultures have had a negative effect on Ja Morant. We'll see if that was fair or foul. Cameron got a new Dr. Phil type show. Want to know if you guys are tapping into that. Jody Breeze gave the OG roster for the Boys in the Hood. We want to know what you thought about that. Slim Thug gave some advice on how to keep money. And Birdman says QC's P is a great executive. We'll tell you who he's better than on our first quick hit. AB, I guess we'll tell you now. I'll bring it over. AB, Birdman was talking over the weekend, man. He said that QC's P is a better executive than, here's the list, Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, and Puff Daddy. Is Birdman right or wrong?
He's wrong, respectfully. Earn Your Leisure put out a top 10 hip-hop CEOs list.
Yep.
In which Birdman was number one.
Yep.
Controversial. Followed by Diddy number 2, Jay number 3, and Dre number 4. P from QC didn't make the list. He made honorable mention, which then prompted Birdman to comment and say, shade to anybody else, but I think P could easily be number 2 on this list. Which I respect, though. And I know they have a relationship. I know P has showed love to Birdman before when they met. P Slick kind of fanned out a little bit, like that's how much respect he had for him. But to have him over Diddy, Jay, Dre, like I'll just take Jay for an example. He did it twice. He did it with Rockefeller, then reinvented himself and did it again with Roc Nation, and did it on a much bigger scale with Roc Nation. So it's hard for me to put P over Jay for that reason, but I can see him being on this top 10 though. But he's some big dogs on this list though. Like it ain't no sleepers on this list, man. So that means somebody got to come off. I don't necessarily know who it would be, but respect to what QC and them have done in such short of a time too.
Who were the other two? I mean, did you have the list right there in front of you?
Yeah. Russell, Diddy 2, Jay 3, Dre 4, Russell Simmons 5, P number 6, L.A. Reid 7, Dame 8, Jermaine Dupri 9, Suge Knight 10. Dame Mike can come off. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna come clean because Rockefeller's run was short, relatively speaking. I feel like they underachieved. If you look at their run, it's shorter than you think.
I ain't mad at that. I was gonna say that you got a combo, Jay and Dame, maybe. But to your point of the short run, like QC's run is about as long as Rockefeller's has been, and we know that QC has sold off. So we kind of gotta see what that's gonna look like moving forward. Plus, I'm biased to Dame Dash, so I wouldn't go there.
Maybe should.
Maybe should. Because it was just the one run, but it was real. I think that's the thing that keeps all of these people above P is they have that epic, like that cornerstone moment. You got Suge with Pop, other than JD, and JD got crisscross. So I guess that is that moment.
He got a lot of. Well, you know what's funny? Crisscross was never signed to So Def.
I did not know that.
I learned that like a week ago. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that.
Did he get credit for signing them? Of course.
No, I mean, he produced them, he founded them, but there was no So Def when they came out. It hadn't existed yet.
Yeah, I think,
but he gets credit. He obviously you associate the two, so like fuck it.
That's a strong ass list, man. I mean, all of them have those big, impactful acts, and for P, here's his Lil Baby.
Yeah.
So it's gonna depend upon how much bigger Lil Baby gets. Like, yeah, you got Yachty and you got the moment in culture that you had in the 2020s, 2018s,
City Girls.
19s. Yeah, City Girls. It's some stuff sprinkled in there, but he'll have to continue to ascend to crack to that list. But he's definitely worth the honorable mention. And I feel like I understand Baby's bias for him. What he's doing is more in line with what Baby was doing and what Baby has been doing for the past 40 years. All those other guys kind of get into other things, different aspects of their hustle make us respect them more as CEOs. So I think that Baby looks at it from the strictly music standpoint and give P a lot more credit than he would those other guys. Take Master P off. I'll take Master P off.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
Do the recent events and discoveries. I'm taking Master P off. Because his
75 million records sold, nigga, please. I mean,
the longevity, though. Like, I feel like the Master P should still be a big dog right now. We don't even got to go into that conversation.
But to be fair, though,
he mishandled the samples.
Well, yeah.
Like that, it's a lot of stuff where you can look back and be like,
But P and Coach K are the most recent, more current out of any of the, with the exception of Jay and Rock Nation. They're the most current. Everybody else on his legacy. Russell, L.A. Reid, Jermaine Dupri, like them legacy acts, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So that they have, we know what impact they all had because we can look back and see. You know what I'm saying? We see what happened when them niggas, what they started in the waves that came after them. QC is in the middle of their wave. We don't know what's come after them yet. So it's kind of unfair to compare the two. Also, other people in the honorable mention, Irv Gotti with Murder Inc., Jay Prince with Rap A Lot, and DNY from Rough Riders.
That's a strong list right there.
Yeah, no, that's a hell of a list.
Strong list right there.
Yeah,
they need to do a little documentary series on all of those. That'll be fire.
I agree. But no, that's a dope list, though, nonetheless.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point you made. They in the middle of what they do. And it's going to be great to see what's happening next with them selling the ownership rights, but still being in control of it, and see what comes next to that. So, yeah, they got another act to follow up on.
And real quick, to that point about them selling to Scooter Braun, I watched a feature on Scooter Braun on YouTube a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I didn't know that he knew Coach K from back in the day because Scooter Braun used to work up under Jermaine Dupri. A long time ago. And I didn't know him and Coach K go back. They go way back. I was like, damn, I didn't know that.
I thought Scooter Braun claimed the fame was Justin Bieber.
I mean, that's it. That was his breakthrough, but he been in the industry for a stretch, though. He found Bieber and Asher Roth, if anybody remembers him.
Asher Roth. That was J-Ho, boy.
Probably so. That looked like a J-Ho artist.
I don't really know that. I'm just putting him in a category with that. All right, man.
And a QC day is March 15th here in Atlanta, too. They got their own day down here in the A. That was pretty dope.
Damn, how did we miss that? Did they name it late? Like, were there any events, anything that happened with it? Or is it just QC day?
I didn't know. I knew about it on QC day.
That's crazy. I saw them talking about it, but I didn't know it passed already. That should have been in June. Like, it should have been like right around Juneteenth or something. Like, get niggas time to prepare for QC day, bro.
Oh, that's a fact.
Slim Moving Thugger, home. Absolutely. I remember. Go ahead.
Yeah. My guy, Slim Thug, H-Town. I don't know if we've ever talked about Slim Thug on the show. I'm sure we have at some point.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, I'm sure we have. Well, we're doing it for the first time in several years, I'm sure. He went to social media to give advice on, up and coming artists and how to save your bread. He said, quote, "Let me show you guys why I still got money and a lot of these rappers went broke." He shows off his t-shirt tag that said $5.99 on it. Then he showed off his shorts with the tag that had $12.99. He said, "I be in the club with this shit on and you don't know because I got on $1 million worth of jewelry." Okay. But y'all be buying that designer. Y'all be looking gay because all the designers are gay. And I'm the only one standing out here. It'd be 10 of y'all standing around with the same Christian Dior shirt, same Gucci shirt. And I'm standing out with a plain tee that cost me $5. My question, is this sound advice from from Slim Thug, H-Town's finest.
It's really, really funny. I'm glad that he mentioned the $1 million worth of jewelry because that's helping. And you're 7'11", my nigga. Of course you standing out in the club full of niggas. Niggas ain't even getting over 5'9" nowadays, luckily. 6'2" to be best. You like 6'18" and there's towering over niggas. Of course they know who you are. But I do get what he's saying, though. He's getting backlash for calling it gay-ass fits. And he tried to clean it up. He tried to clean it up and it was funny. He said the designers were gay and y'all look gay for all of y'all wearing the same thing. But I do think that he has a point. The little bit that we have talked about Slim Thug on here, we've spoken to his financial literacy, how he's made all of that money from I Still Run, whatever the streets. Like he said, he's living a very comfortable life still off of that came out damn near 20 years ago now. Yep. So when he's talking about, hey, you should do this, that, and the third to save money, I'm listening. I'll buy the $5.99 shirts and all of that. I ain't got the $1 million worth of jewelry because that ain't my swag. I just throw on a Gucci hat or something. However, I get what he's saying, though. I do get what he's saying, and I think it's sound advice for younger rappers because when you look up, and I don't know if it's an old nigga thing or what, but if you scrolling through Instagram or if you go out, you're like, damn, is everybody dressing or looking the same? Like, he's right.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody is emulating the same thing, it seems like. So he was making a great point.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. $1 million worth of jewelry, it really doesn't matter what your shirt costs at that point. If whatever your mission is in the club, I know he's out here single, living life. I follow him on Instagram, living vicariously through him because he is, in fact, shaking it.
Did you see him this weekend? In Colombia. Colombia shaking.
I saw that.
Oh, man. That's what made me put this on here. Like,
I definitely love.
Oh, jeez.
I fuck with Slim Thug, man. Of course, people are making a big deal because he referenced the gay designers and y'all looking gay. And then he did, like you said, he cleared it up in the comments. He said, for the gay people who are wondering what I mean when I say look gay, I mean when a hood dude wearing a Gucci rainbow shirt and a man purse. No offense to y'all. Fair enough. What he is saying is age-old advice, which is essentially live below your means. That's all he's saying. You know what I mean? He's just adding to the fact that, yes, you're right. A lot of people do look the same. A lot of people are going for the trendy look. Therefore, you end up, you know what I'm saying, looking like there's 3 or 4 niggas in the same place, which is always embarrassing. I don't give a fuck who you are. You never want to go someplace and the nigga got the same fit on as you. That's insane. Man. There's an issue with that. If that happens, that means you want some mannequin shit and you need to be a little bit more original in what it is that you're rocking. I'm with him, though. Nobody's going to question your $5.99 shirt, A, when you're Slim Thug, and B, when you have on $1 million worth of jewelry. So if I was him, I would do the same thing. I'm not mad at it. Chet, you hear celebrities say this all the time. Ocho Cinco says this. Some people take the other route and say, nigga, I'm not getting $1 million worth of jewelry, and that's how I stay rich. And so that's one way to look at it, too. You got a Gucci shirt on, but you ain't got no $1 million worth of jewelry. So I guess it's the trade-off. But I'm not mad at him, man. I fuck with Slim Thug. I understood what he was trying to say. He didn't need to clear all this extra shit up. For me, I know what he mean.
Yeah, but the alphabet community came after him hard.
I get it, but then also, people ran with it, and that was part of the headline. That's all I saw. Gay, he calling people gay if they were good. It's like, bro, like, come on, y'all looking for clicks and shit.
And he's more, Slim Thug is our age. So when he's using that, not excusing it at all, him explaining it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I thought he meant.
I knew what he meant.
I'm saying? It's not here because we are familiar with that terminology. We came up around it. But I mean, not to excuse it or anything of that nature. I'm glad he did come out and clear it up. I am glad he made the point also that people need to be authentic. And like you said, you can spend your money however you want, but still have some financial literacy the way you saving your shit, and that ain't all you got. That $1 million worth of jewelry, which I don't think Slim Thug got at all, or that Gucci man purse or shirt. At the end of the day, make sure you got something else to fall back on.
And if you do follow Slim Thug, then you know he's been on his CEO grind for a minute. He had the buy the block hashtag a couple of years ago that was challenging rappers to buy up neighborhoods and buy real estate. So he big into that. So he's got
that go viral like this. Nigga had the whole construction. He picks up a whole goddamn, it had to be 10, 15 houses on the side of town in Houston. Wasn't no re-clicks. I didn't see that on the Shade Room. I ain't see that on TMZ. I ain't see that anywhere other than his page.
And that was pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
so imagine if he held on to them.
Soul Signs. Yeah, he had the whole block of the Soul Signs under his construction company name. So yeah.
So yeah, like you said, that didn't make TMZ or the Shade Room.
Made on Deck TV show though.
Facts.
Moving on, man. Your man Jody Breeze somehow still makes news in 2023. He says that the original Boys in the Hood was supposed to be, wait for it, Lil Wayne, Trick Daddy, and T.I.
And him.
Okay, I was wondering. No Jeezy?
No Jeezy.
That's crazy. Would that have worked, AB?
So we got to go back. This is 2004?
Yes.
Yes, it would. Okay, would it have worked? Yes. A different question though was, how does this change Jeezy's trajectory? But I'm gonna get to that in a second. Jody Breeze was a relative no name at this point, and so
he was popular in Atlanta.
Yeah, a little bit. But he even admitted, I was still a youngster. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the most part, he damn sure wasn't Trick Daddy, who was a vet at this time. T.I. was doing his thing, and Lil Wayne was Lil Wayne. He wasn't greatest rapper alive, Wayne, but he was still Lil Wayne. He was popular. So
Trick Daddy was the most popular rapper out of this group at that time.
I could argue that. That's a fact. Yeah. So for number one, I got to believe that a nigga was going to put Jody Breeze with them. That's number one, respectfully. And I like Jody Breeze. I thought he was dope. But you put a rookie with 3 all-stars, I don't know if that actually was how serious those talks were. And I've heard Trick Daddy name before. I heard it was Trick instead of Jeezy originally, and then they swapped them out. I have heard that. This is Wayne and T.I. is insane. I ain't never heard that. But do I think it would have worked? Yes. Do I think this changes Jeezy's trajectory? Only somewhat. Only somewhat.
I think that this would have worked for Boys in the Hood because they needed star power. That was the reason that the group didn't make it. Jeezy wasn't really a part of it. Jody Breeze was probably the biggest star other than him. And like you said, he was, okay, he's a young dude.
Yeah.
All them other niggas, Big G or whatever the fuck their name was, nobody went here for them. I ain't never hear a nigga be like, I listened to that Boys in the Hood for whoever the rest of the niggas was in that group. What I have heard, though, is that Block had Puff Daddy ear around that time. So him having relationships with probably T.I., probably Baby, in essence to Lil Wayne, and trying to sell him on, man, I got this deal with Diddy. I'm going to we put Wayne in another group, and trying to sway him that way. And then Trick Daddy, who was coming to the end of a very popular run. So this probably would have gave him some more legs. So I could see that. I could see this lining up. I also could see a nigga like T.I., nigga like Trick Daddy, a nigga like Wayne being like, man, hell no, nigga.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because this was squad time for Wayne. And for us, it was like, this nigga finna go. That's what we would thought. And I'm sure Baby thought the same thing. And T.I. always thought that he was a superstar anyway. But I think that this group would have worked had they been able to pull it together, just because it had more star power than the Boys in the Hood that we came to see. As of Jeezy's career, you're right. No deterrent at all. Like Jeezy did this and it helped out Boys in the Hood. It really never did nothing for Jeezy. Like, I just happened to be over here for an album and helped y'all out.
Oh no, it was a good look. It was a good look though.
It was a good look because he was so hot at that point, and
he stood out too.
That time, he did stand out there over there with them, but he was still doing it like without or with Boys in the Hood, like you said. Jeezy, I felt like was gonna be Jeezy.
So we got 2 Boys in the Hood albums. A lot of people don't remember the second one.
I do not believe it was 2 albums.
Yeah, 2 albums.
Jeezy wasn't on that second one.
Oh,
it couldn't have been.
I can't remember. He might not have been. Oh no, it wasn't. I think they replaced him. They replaced him with Gorilla Zoe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep, they replaced him with Gorilla Zoe. That's true. I forgot about that. So to your point though, niggas was there for Jeezy. Jody Breeze had the hooks, and you could kind of see there was potential. So niggas was fucking with him. Big Gee and Big Duke, like they might have been known in like the streets or something. But like, bro, like what? I can't give you no bars from neither one of them niggas, bro. Like
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I can't. They just were fillers. So you expect me to believe that you had A-listers instead of them? So you went from Trick Daddy and Wayne and T.I. to them? That seems
the
like
budget didn't add up. His money started. They started taking that out of his money. If I'm gonna be here, says Trick Daddy, Lil Wayne, T.I. need this much. He's like, oh no. Block was like, oh hell no. I'll take these no-name niggas.
Exactly.
My question to you is this. Did Jody Breeze, he had mixtapes and shit before this, right? Like Jeezy wasn't the only nigga that was popular, right?
Nah, he was young, bro. He wasn't really out here like that. He had a single that Stay Fresh, that flipped that Floetry. All a nigga do is stay fresh. He had that, but he didn't really have no project out like it. He put it on hold for this.
I thought I had heard of that nigga a little bit, like before this came out, or like I thought he had other stuff. My point was going to be I never heard anything from them other dudes. I don't know if they had solo mixtapes. No. I didn't know if they had other verses or features. Like Jody Breeze was at least active. I knew of him, whether it was a feature or something. I don't know how I knew him, but I know I knew him. I don't know where these other dudes would have came from.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'd never heard of these and ain't heard of them since. So maybe they must be street dudes. At least Jody Breeze still outside.
Yeah, that might have been some niggas Block went back with. You know what I'm saying?
Homeboys, I got to deal with Puff. Y'all niggas write some shit, man.
Oh shit!
We got this new nigga named Jeezy. This nigga gonna be cold.
Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing niggas have tried this before with like Slaughterhouse and Black Hippie that we never got. I would love to see 4 solo artists. Just give me 2 projects. Is that like just give me 2 projects so we make it seem like it's real? It's not a money grab. Give me 2 real projects, man. Lock niggas in for 14 tracks. I think that should be kind of fire. I don't know the 4, but I think that'd be something fresh for hip hop, bro.
I do. It would be. That would be fire. I would be here for that. Like Slaughterhouse was. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen because people too just like out of it nowadays. But it could have been.
Next up, man, your boy Killer Cam is back on the scene, man. Not with music though. He's got 2 shows out, or 1 out now and 1 on the way. He's got a sports show currently called It Is What It Is. I'm sure you have seen clips of him in a suit and with him and Mace talking about sports. That's doing pretty well on YouTube. He's saying he's already got offers for people to buy it. He then also has a new talk show, a Dr. Phil style talk show called Come and Talk to Me. So that's on the way. Are you here for Cam's second act as a media personality?
Me personally, I don't want to hear any of this. I like Cam's personality in music, interviews, but when we start getting to this, you got to sit too long with him like Killer Season, I'm out. However, I do respect whoever was around him, or if it was his idea, somebody saying, bro, you need to do a talk show. Like, you need to do the sports show. I love the fact that he does know, like I said, it's not for me personally, but he is 100% a media, like, for the people that want to see that, he's there for you. And I respect the fact that he's listened to that building and is looking to build a brand off the media personality. He needed a second stage off of the rap. I think Cameron is funny. It's a thin line for me. Like being there for 20 minutes of it and sitting there for 3 hours or what it may be. It's just like, it's too New York for me sometimes. But I do get it. I get it, and I see why people gravitate to it. I see why he's getting offers from it. I like that he's expanding the lane and the field, making it possible for other people to, and himself, and giving us more voices. So I do like it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the concept. I'm not tapping in. I didn't watch the sports show. I absolutely won't watch the Dr. Phil style show. However, I understand there's an audience of people that will. The sports show's doing pretty well. I've been seeing clips. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And that was just 1 episode. It was like a pilot. He dropped the second one. He dropped 1 in February, then he dropped 1 in March. Just testing the waters. I'm not mad at that. Dip your toe in the water, see if it works, see if people bite. We've seen Fat Joe do podcasts. We see what Math Hoffa got. He in a barbershop doing his own podcast. Shit, like rappers, well, obviously we know what Joe Budden has done and what bag, and how he's turned that into a stupid bag. So I get it. Cam is an entertaining person. You match him up with somebody who can kind of reel him in a little bit. Nori as well. Like, there's a lot of people doing second acts in hip hop with this podcast and it's working, or just media shit, period, and it's working. So I get it. It has also failed for some people. With all due respect to T.I., David Banner, There's a lot of other people who have started podcasts and they've been here today, gone tomorrow. I think David Banners is done. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but if I'm not mistaken, I think that's over with. And then Lupe and Royce. Speaking of groups,
such potential.
Yeah, they dropped the ball with that. So I say that to say, look, go for it, give it a try, do a pilot. I'm not mad at this. Is smart. This is smart. Throw this out there, see what niggas say. If it catch on, get a bag off of it, get a sponsor. It's a smart play for Cam. I'm not watching either one of these, though. Even though I do like the name Come and Talk to Me. I do like that. That was kind of dope.
Yeah, that is hard. You brought up a good point with some of the other rappers turn media personalities and them not lasting long in the space. I've heard T.I. speak to it. I'm pretty sure Lupe and Roy said the same thing once they started having like riffs about it. It's just, the money isn't there up front. Like, it's a slow grind.
Yep.
And coming from the rap field, you expecting like bigger payouts and paydays, and some of those guys look at it like it's just not worth my time. Like, I can literally go do a show for 3 times this amount that I'm making from the ads and whatever we getting from the podcast, and it's like half the amount of time. So you really gotta fuck with this shit. Like a nigga like Joe Buttons, Scarface, and Willie D.
True.
They've been holding it down a long time.
True.
Friend of the show, Glasses Malone. Like, you really got to have a perspective and care about having something to say, not just being, oh, I'm a nigga that's famous and I want to get on here because I think it can make me money. There's way too totally different lanes for that. And the niggas that really fuck with it, you seen them thrive, to your point.
Yeah, I agree. Who else? Slim Thug had one. I think that's done.
Thug had one. I think that's done. Lil Duval had one with his sister. That one fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot, man. You know, just hip-hop ones that some
people went the Boosie route and they're just reacurring guests on somebody else's shit for a check.
Yeah.
He said, "Fuck it, man. I'll pop up on your shit twice a year.
Yeah.
Give me the check."
Glad pay him good for that.
Facts.
Glad gets paid good for that as well.
Yeah. Nah, it's a trade off. Oh, speaking of, I'm glad you said Lil Duval. We got to give a shout out to Clay from Grand Hustle. I believe he's still he suffered a stroke. I believe he's still in the hospital. There was some reports earlier that he had passed away. Apparently that is not true. But we don't know how well he's doing. But we definitely have a history with Clay. For the record, he is T.I.'s road manager, friend. He's been there since day one. So most definitely sending positive vibes his way for sure. Just made me think of that when you said Duval.
Yeah, currently Lil Duval manager, which is why.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So thoughts and prayers to him, the team, his whole family. People know the history of On Deck. They know, we got our start kind of earlier on, and he was the one that set up the meeting for us. So shout out to him, man.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's it on that. What we got next? Is it me, Ja Rule?
Yes, sir.
All right, your man Ja Rule, he came out and said, and others believe, that the hip hop culture has had a negative effect on Ja Morant, hence all the negative media headlines, hence him having to take some time off and get his mind right.
Yeah.
Is this fair or foul for Ja Rule?
Yeah, Ja Rule said this. Pat Beverly said this, NBA player, said he was influenced, said Ja Rule's actions were influenced by hip hop. Of course, the said actions were him having a gun on Instagram Live. I'm going to say this is fair because none of those two people took it a step too far and blamed hip hop on it. They said that he was influenced by it. That's two different things. Hip hop being the cause of something and someone's emulating what they saw, what they thought is cool, are two different things. And I do believe that is the case. That does play a role. And I like that Pat Bev said, nigga, I listen to this shit too. I listen to this shit. Now, I'm not waking up at 8 a.m. listening to it, but when it's game day, we're turning up like the street shit, all of that. This shit getting turned up. So I'm not knocking the genre or anything. I'm just saying that what he was doing is a reflection of what he has seen through hip hop. That's it, and that's a fact. And I understand that. I agree with him and Ja Rule. I don't know why anyone asked Ja Rule. That's kind of weird. Named Ja, like I don't know.
Get Ja Rule on the phone.
Yeah, where's the TMZ called him out and was like, "Hey man, what do you think about Ja Morant? Your name's Ja. What do you think about the other?"
That's funny as hell.
So I don't know. I don't. TMZ is silly for that, but I do think he has a point. I think we got to be realistic and be like, yeah, no, there's. Hip hop influences people to do things. It's good, bad, indifferent. It happens. it's not the end of the world. I do think there was an obvious hip hop influence with him putting the straps up to the video. I do. He didn't get that from the NBA.
Maybe not, but I'd like to see niggas stay on code. Like, I like to see sometimes when I'm glancing by Fox News and I see one of those idiots on there talking, and I know that they know they bullshitting, and they know that they bullshitting, but still they pushing the line for the bullshit, and it don't matter what they say. Like, well, we standing by it. Like, we believe Trump's a good guy. Yeah. I'd like to see Ja Rule say, well, what about movies? Or what about all the other stuff in the age-old discussion that we always have when it comes to this? Why are you singling out hip-hop? Why are you calling me TMZ on a random Wednesday afternoon and asking me when I know Ja Morant has seen movies? I know he plays video games. I know he lives in the fucking real world. So any of this stuff can influence him. Could hip-hop have played a factor in it? Absolutely. But I would love to see niggas toe the line. Hold the same line that I see other people in other cultures doing, be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I would like them to be like, I see it in movies. I see it every day on the news. So, yeah, it may have been a small influence on hip-hop, but I believe just as much all these other things influence too. Whether the niggas copping the plea and be like, yeah, you right. Like you said, why would I call Ja Rule? That nigga ain't finna get no thought to this. Y'all come to me with a thought, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you right, man. Y'all right, TMZ. And as far as Patrick Beverly, I understand what he's saying. But you're older, right? Like your influences, and it don't influence you the same way. Yeah, you listen to it. You may not listen to it when you wake up at 8. I get what they were saying. They trying to placate to a narrative. They don't want to ignore what hip hop has done. However, I would like to see those brothers, since they are from the culture, hold stuff outside the culture just as accountable as you hold stuff within it. It's fine that you say hip hop, but give it a little more depth. Like everybody else always piles on when they come piling on, say, yeah, but what about the movies? Because they gonna do that when in defense of them. Say, what about all this other shit? Facts. I would have liked to see it.
There's a piece of me that's for them. No, there's a piece of me that agrees 1,000% with that. Mm-hmm. I like that we're able to have certain discussions because we have to hold each other accountable for certain things without going too crazy, like it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. We get it. He did something that was kind of silly. Okay, cool. He didn't shoot nobody. He didn't kill nobody. Whatever. Right. It really ain't that deep. And so I don't want anybody to make it that deep. Mm-hmm. But I do respect, because I do think we need to stay on code. But I think we need to stay on code in front of the camera and behind it. And so where someone is like, yeah, what about this, that, and the other? We need to know subconsciously that, hey, I hope somebody is talking to him though, right? Well, we don't want to see him go outside. Like, let's be clear. Somebody please talk to him in his circle. Like, don't go out like that, bro. Like, you done fumbled the Powerade bag and the Nike bag, and like, yeah, like, let's not do that. But outwardly, I get it. Yeah, I agree. I do wish it was a little more unison when it comes to things like that. But with that being said, I don't think they told any lies, and I don't think they shitted on them or went too far. True. Or over the line. But yes, there is at some point, again, even if it's just amongst us, we do need to be
you gotta hold him accountable. Yeah, you gotta hold him accountable.
And the culture accountable to a certain extent, and people accountable to know the difference between art and real life. Yes, like there's a couple of things. Look at the what's the kid named? XXX. His trial just ended. They found all 3 of them guilty of killing dude. Mm-hmm. One piece of evidence that they found that linked them to the murder was they stole the money from them and they posted the same money on Instagram the same day. Like that, like the money phones with the money, is like that's social media. That's hip. That's culture that they're emulating. Now, does that mean, are we blaming Future for these goofball niggas for killing? Of course not. But you can't ignore that that's where they got it from. Again, that doesn't, I don't know what that point that makes at the end of the day, but they did get it from somewhere. That doesn't exonerate them from being idiots, but still, they got it from somewhere. For whatever that means at the end of the day, it is what it is. So I think that's what Ja Rule and Patrick Beverly were saying.
I hope that just like Ja Rule and Patrick Beverly were able to come out and say this, I hope that Ja Rule got I hope that Ja Morant got some surprising phone calls. Because it's all good when your guy want to come sit on the floor next to your daddy and all of this. But I hope at the same time that when this was happening, that the culture reached out to him and he looked down at his phone and had some words with some niggas that he never would have thought he would have been talking to, and them giving him some great advice about being a successful black man in America. I hope that happened. I hope that, just like you saying, the culture and this and that, and Ja Rule blaming him, and we see Yo Gotti and all of these people championing him and saying his names in raps. I hope he got an abundance of phone calls from niggas being like, hey, look, little bro. This is the right way. They're going to try to trick you out the spot every time. I done had millions for a long time, and this is how you do it. I hope he got a lot of those phone calls.
I agree 1,000%. And shout out to NLE Chopper. He lost a song placement in the Powerade commercial, man. I know he's sad about that. That'd have been a good look, bro. That'd have been a good look for Memphis, man. The Powerade commercial probably would have been played all through the playoffs.
Facts.
I know he hot about that. He owned all his masters and shit.
No, he's sick about that. That was straight payday.
I'd have been hot about that.
Big facts.
Next up, man. We said it's been slow. First quarter of the year typically is pretty quiet. It's about to heat up, though, man. Some new projects literally on the way any week now. Currency, the long-awaited Currency and Jermaine Dupri project. We've been talking about this what seems like forever and a day. They are on a press run, and they got a tour announced. So that means this album is coming any day now. And Larry June and Alchemist have a project that actually has a date on it. I'm mad. I got to look it up real quick while we talking. That is coming out any week now as well, dropping very soon. My question, we're fans of both of these artists. If you can only hear one of those, which one do you need immediately?
Man, this is a hard choice, man. Yep. And Larry June was doing something creative too. You were talking about them doing a promo run. He went on social media, told people to text him what cities he need to pull up to for the tour. He put his number, a number on there. I'm not sure if it was his number, but I feel like that was cool. People just texted the city and they wanted him to pull up to. I can't wait for this JD and Currency. I ain't the biggest Currency fan, I ain't the biggest JD fan. However, I do respect what those two guys do in the booth, in the music world. I respect their professionalism. And when you get that type of mixture, I feel like that you're going to have greatness. I fuck with Larry June and Alchemist, of course. I just don't think that they on the level of JD and Currency. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just from a legacy standpoint at worst. You know what I'm saying? Just as long as those guys have been in the game, never having run across each other and given a full thought process to put an album out. So I'm more interested in what's going to come from the JD and Currency scenario versus the Larry June and Alchemist. And I just blame that on them just being earlier in their careers, excuse me. Which one you waiting on?
First of all, I need both. Let's be very clear.
That's a fact.
And I've been waiting on this Jermaine Dupri and Currency, and they've been teasing us for years, playing snippets. The shit sounds crazy. They got a new video where they rapping like on the block.
Oh, Currency ripped that. Currency beat is banging. Oh my God.
Yeah, that shit got me hyped. And with that being said, there's a documentary of Larry June and his Alchemist, which comes out March 31st. The documentary is 12 minutes. As soon as it was over, I started it all over again. Like that bag that Alchemist is in right now, like dude is like he's a vet though. I know you said that Larry June is more of a he's not rookie, but
he ain't JD though.
That's hell no. That's a fact.
Them two niggas, they just what I mean.
Yeah, no, JD's been doing this since the mid '90s. Yeah. But dude, them niggas, he in his bag, dog. Like I got the hat at Larry June and Alchemist, bro. Like I mean, the songs that they played during the little documentary, little clips and shit. Oh my God! I need that immediately. So I'm really excited for that. I'm becoming a really big Larry June fan. Shout out to J Hove. He put me on about 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, bro, I'm not listening to this. He sound like Dom Kennedy, and I don't like Dom Kennedy. I was completely wrong. He one of my favorite rappers right now. Larry June, I might pull up to one of these shows, and then one of these niggas might get me out the house. I might pull up to one of these shows. I don't know yet.
I almost bought that Currency and JD ticket Friday, but you deterred me because you said it was standing room only.
Yeah, the venue looks standing room only, and I can't do that.
If y'all in the A, let us know, man. If y'all going to that JD and that Currency, let me know about that venue because I want to see that.
When is that? That's April 7th? I
have to see that. Yeah.
So that means the album coming before then. It has to.
Yeah, it got to. They can't be doing that. And that ain't the first stop either. Well, actually, that is the first stop. They say come out and enjoy. There may be like a listening party or something. Because it was like come out, listen, enjoy, chill. So they may just be playing that motherfucker. And the tickets ain't even that expensive. So I'm guessing that they ain't even no performance. It's really probably just going to be for that price, JD and Currency in there with the mics, listen to this joint just like that. That might be fire though.
That might be, yeah. I was just about to say, I
might get my ticket when this is over with. Now, just say that.
Fuck.
Yeah, I might get my tickets to that when this is over with. All right, man. Before we get out of here and get some wins and some losses, 9 years ago, your man's dropped My Crazy Life as YG. I got a question for you about YG's career, AB. Has it lived up to the hype of that first album?
You know, many people call that album a classic, bro.
Yes.
That first YG? Me?
You said it's right up there with Good Kid, Mad City.
Man, ain't no way in the world.
It's documented. It's on this show. You put it out there and said it. You said it's right there with Good Kid, Mad City.
Ain't nobody going to be able to find that episode. Listen, I do like it, though. It's banging, and I understand why people say what it is. Because, the West Coast, there's Game. This is how the West Coast is going. Snoop, Game.
Gorilla Black. You forgot Gorilla Black.
Gorilla Black. Can't forget Gorilla Black. Kendrick and YG. Like, those have been like the faces. It's almost like, you know how they say there can only be one black actor at a time? Yeah. It's almost like there can only be one there can only be one West Coast superstar at a time, dude. Yeah. I know there's other acts for niggas coming. You just talked about Larry June. I know. I'm just saying, on like a big scale, waving the flag, with all due respect to Nipsey, who dropped one album. I'm saying, like, when niggas was like, nigga, this shit is a classic, like that. That's YG, Kendrick, Snoop in the game, dude. So with that being said, I understand the hype behind the album because it was fire, but he hasn't put anything close to this since. Put out anything close to that since. Now, that's not to say he hasn't had a successful career. I actually liked the last album he just put out. It was actually halfway decent. He had his best single in years with the Mary sample on it, and he has a successful clothing line, and it looks like he's pivoted into fashion, and he be in magazines and shit. So he's got a nice brand with his 400. He got a nice relationship with him and Mustard making hits. So he's had a nice career, but does it live up to that debut? No, it don't.
Yeah, I thought you was going to say it was. I was going to say all of that said it still don't live up. YG's just not a star. And I don't know if that's because of just his personality or, you know, he just don't fit with mainstream culture. They've tried to push it in there. He's had hits, like you said. Yep. He got hits or whatever it may be to go up with a Kendrick or a Game, but it's just he doesn't have a mainstream personality. I agree. When you saw that YG My Crazy Life, you kind of thought that you would maybe get another Snoop. You would have another Game or someone like that who you could, like, all of those niggas got personality. Kendrick, not really, but the music make up for it.
Facts.
Like anything that you don't got out here on this personal media trail, I got it here in the booth. But YG is just like, the music was good. The personality would have had to have been great, and it wasn't. So it never really just all the way clicked. To the West Coast niggas probably saying that we're crazy. Like you're saying, he had more leverage moving around out there, stopping like at Vegas or Kansas City, maybe. Right. Like that was probably as far west as we got to. But I just don't think it ever lived up to what we would expect it if it was like a Snoop or a Game or a Kendrick Lamar. But I would give him fourth. I would give him somewhere around fourth.
Yeah, no, and this is us speaking from we're on the other side of the map of the country. We're thousands, we're a couple of 100 miles away. The vibe may be completely different in LA, dude. Mm-hmm. I get it. I'm saying what reached us are those four. The big names were those four. And so all those other three have had Hall of Fame careers. He hasn't. That's all I'm saying.
And we're not talking about personal preference either, because it's probably like a rolling in his eyes right now. The last 2 years, I've had Vince Staples as my album.
Exactly.
And I'm just, he's, to me, hasn't reached his potential yet either, but the music has. I just still think he got some growing to do, but yeah.
Yeah, it ain't about the quality. We're just saying, like, what you would have thought his career would have looked like after that first one, it would have went a little differently. I think it's the hard bottoms and the White Sox. Hey, if he would have never went that route,
possibly.
I think he would have been more
scares the bitches.
That's
he definitely dresses to scare the bitches.
That's all I'm saying, dude, and that's never a good idea.
I wonder how many times during YG's career nigga be like, bro, hey, you scaring the hoes, man.
Hey, man, why you put the black hard bottoms on again with the White Sox, bro? You scaring the
White
hoes.
Sox. button your shirt up, bro. Like, come on,
bro.
man. You scaring the hoes. They think you crazy, dude. Come on, bro. You got one long sleeve and one short sleeve on, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Bro, you got a sweater vest on with no shirt underneath, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing,
have corduroys on in the summertime, bro? Like, what's going on? You scaring the bitches, man. That's hilarious, dude.
Oh, shit.
All right, man. For some wins and some losses before we get out of here in another week in review with the On Deck TV show. W or L to your girl, Young Miami AB. She had a cameo on BMF, and she was distraught that her boyfriend got killed. She was distraught. Jesus Christ.
We were distraught watching that performance.
She just had a birthday.
Yeah, that her acting was horrible. And for anybody that didn't see the clip, it got a lot of impressions for whatever that's worth. I mean, I know that everybody wants attention nowadays. She's still getting checks. She'll still get hired. Hell, she's another rapper with a successful podcast. So I don't think she's necessarily worried about getting more gigs. If anything, somebody might hire her to just so she could act terrible again, and they can get more retweets. So that's a W.
Yep, like you said, it's all about the impressions. It's Young Miami. A lot of people were talking about it. They don't care if she's Angela Bassett or not, bro.
Yep.
She's gonna get plenty more looks from this, man.
And people love a comeback story too. So if she do something else and like she's improved, it'll make news now.
True. 100%. I hope she do get act. Like, I want to see her just because I feel like, well, I don't know if people are rooting against it, but I would love to see her maturation. Like her from where we seen her come in at to you look up 10 years from now, you're like, God damn, like I don't even believe she used to rap and shit like she did. Like I would love to see her ascend to that. 100%.
I would love to see her ascend outside of the booth. And whatever that ascension is, as long as it doesn't require a microphone and recording equipment, I'm cool.
That thing was thanging on her birthday too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was. It was.
My God. All right, win or loss. Rapper Doughboy said he is charging $10K for a 1 hour. I can't even get this out. $10K for a 1 hour studio session with him, AB. Is that a win or a loss?
Hey, this is actually a win, man. I fuck with Doughboy. Number one, he signed a Future free bands. I think he kind of dope. He's from Cleveland, or he's from Ohio. It may not be Cleveland.
He be down here a lot.
He's down here heavy. The 1 hour studio session includes a feature and a social media post from Doughboy. So that's marketing and the feature and the $1 million studio for 10 bands. That's cheaper than the feature, I feel like. Yeah. So shit. And I have my cameraman in there filming the whole thing. I'm milking all of that.
If you set up for it, it's cool. That's a come up if you set up for it. Like if I can, you're right. If I can capitalize off that, I already got some shit in play. I got to look other songs and shit. I can't take my first 10K and do this with Dope.
Hell no.
I can't do that. All right, man. The last W or L, your man Jim Jones said he's now writing raps in his sleep. He can't explain it. Don't ask him to explain it, AB. But now Jim Jones is writing raps in his sleep. Is that a win or a loss?
This is the biggest cap. This is Kevin Gates.
Like he write raps in his sleep. That's what it sounds like.
I'm not
gonna sleep. Wrote this shit.
I'm not gonna do Jim Jones any kind of way. This is like Kevin Gates level of cap, dude. Can you imagine if Kevin Gates said this? This would go insane. But this is an L, dude. This nigga said he hits the blunt, takes a nap, and writes raps in his sleep. That is, and he magically can't explain it. Come on, bro, stop.
So I'm wondering, he doesn't write it. He'll fall asleep and wake up and be like, "I got a 16." Stop. Bro.
He Rain Man.
You ain't that. I ain't knocking Jim Jones, but you ain't that cold, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I promise you're not that cold, bro. Like if you doing that in your sleep, if you wrote, you'll be one of the best. Like if you did that shit when you was woke and had a Red Bull or something, some coffee, green tea, nigga, gray Earl tea, you'd be in there, nigga. Firing on all cylinders, nigga.
You gotta wake up and get that goddamn cappuccino shot or something, dude.
Anything. One more win or a loss before we go to On Deck of the Week, AB. I saw this, a local one per se. I saw the Starlito and Young Buck had squashed their beef. They went viral about 2018, 2019.
Yeah, something like that.
For the basketball game kerfuffle. that they had outside of the AAU in Nashville. So shout out to those guys for putting whatever discrepancies that they had behind them.
Yeah, it's a good look for the city.
Social media post. Did you see that?
I did. Good look for the city. The post salute. That's all you need now. That just put the post and a little caption like, "Yo, nigga, 2 real niggas linked up." That's it. That's all we need, dude. You ain't got to go no detail. We don't need no interviews.
Songs.
No, we don't need none of that.
Yep.
It's a good look though. I'm always here for shit like that, man. Niggas too old to be doing goofy shit, bro.
Yeah, the grown man shit. I respected that 100%. So shout out to those guys.
Absolutely.
Right, we got for on deck of the week, AB.
We're going to YouTube, man. A couple of comments on the bad albums by legendary rappers episode, man, that we missed. Shout out to Hendrix Loco. Great episode as usual. Billboard trying to get Kanye all the way out of here. Ain't no way Ye is at the top of the trash albums list. I agree.
That is easily number one.
Also, shout out to Frank Forden, my absolute favorite hip-hop show and podcast. The work y'all do is second to none. Y'all have a fan for life in me. Appreciate you, Frank. Good looking,
brother.
And one more from D-Dub, man. He said, great show, fellas. The win and the loss of YG $1,000 dinner is an L from the artist perspective, especially in comparison to Chris Brown's. Chris can take way more than 10 pictures for a stack apiece versus YG maybe having 10 people at a dinner. Again, good show. Keep doing your thing.
That makes sense.
That's fair.
That is true.
You got to do more work, too.
Yeah.
Entertain niggas. You get talk to niggas you don't want to talk to.
Yeah, that is some slaw. Take a picture, you in and out.
All right, next.
Yeah, that is true.
What you got to put me on, man?
Put on a brand new song that I came across when we was doing research for the show, man. What Happened to Atlanta by Schoolie featuring Killer Mike and T.I. Killer Mike absolutely obliterated this track. They're just talking about the old Atlanta versus Atlanta now. If you can, skip Schoolie's part at the beginning because it's garbage.
Damn.
Other than that, man, Killer Mike and T.I. did their thing on there.
I gotta check that out. I saw the promo. I just haven't listened to the song yet. I'm definitely gonna get to that.
It's a dope ass concept. Killer Mike ripped it, but I'm not familiar with Schoolie. Like,
he signed the 2 Chainz. That's 2 Chainz, boy.
Oh, that show is. Yeah, it was trash on it.
Damn. I don't know how he got in that studio session.
Well, I remember if that you would say that he the lead artist for that they label, right? For 2 Chainz.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so Killer Mike and T.I. like this, that should be a phone call for 2 Chainz.
Facts. Yeah. My put on is also music, man. Your boy ESTG dropped another project. It's called Mad. I'm really fucking with this dude.
Really?
Yeah, it's dope. It's got he got some nice ass beats on here, man. He flipped that Diamonds Are Forever sample on here on a song called Ball Like Me Too. That shit go hard. He got a song with Boosie I actually like called Hot Boys. This a nice project, dude. Like he's
I'm gonna listen to this now and everything.
Yeah, he put out he got this a solid piece of work. I feel like ESTG buzz has kind of leveled out. I'm not gonna say it's tailed off. I'm gonna say it's leveled off. It's kind of like when you've been losing weight for a while and then you kind of you plateau a little bit. Like that's kind of where he's at. But he's still putting out quality music though. So I don't want this to go unnoticed. It's called Mad ESTG, man. I would suggest y'all
QC?
check it out.
He ain't on QC, is?
Nah, he on CMG.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he on there.
I didn't need to do some more pushing behind him, man.
I agree. He did some. I know he did the compilation last year that was kind of good, and he did the, 4-2 Doug and ESTG had the little project together.
Oh yeah.
So he working it. This one just kind of came under the radar, but shit just dropping under the radar, dude. Like if you're not following a nigga on Instagram, dude, you don't know shit come out.
That is true, 100%, man. That has been the On Deck TV Weekend Review Show. Next time you hear from us, AB will be a year older. Y'all make sure y'all give him the birthday shout outs on social media, man. Turning 50 out here. Shout out to you. Well, you got any special plans for your birthday?
Man, I'm low, man. I'm gonna chop it up with some folks, a little brunch spot, but that's about it though, man.
That's dope, man. Well, let me know. I'll give you a year this weekend, see what you got going on. But happy birthday to you, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Year being greater.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, appreciate that. And again, next week we're back at it. YouTube.com, man. Keep those comments coming, man. We appreciate y'all for supporting the real. We appreciate it.
Chill.